this recording is going to be coming on our Turner YouTube channel. So one of the things that I want to share with you this morning, I have another guest, and we have several friends. Sister Ash Upshur, I keep saying Ash Upshur, Sister Upshur.
That's okay. You can call
Share
me
with
Sister
us
Upshur.
how we are going to do some phenomenal things other than your traditional turkey dinner. And one of the things that and for the sake of time, Sister Upshur, if you don't mind, let me also introduce to you my friend Fern. So I don't know how to do this from here, but I want to go ahead and pin a few videos for just a minute. My friend Fern, who lives in Atlanta, most of you hear me refer to Fern as my friend Fern in Atlanta. That's her name. Fern is going to share with us how we, do you want to use the mouse? How we, she makes a phenomenal kale salad. So first, let me introduce Sister Ash, because she is the head of our culinary team at Turner Memorial. And there's already, oh, now I'm able to see some of our friends. Thank you. And again, I'm going to go back to the glass. So, you know, we always keep our smoothie container right here. Today it's empty because I have several of these. I was using plastic, but you know something, use the glass. I'll be honest with you, this is, what do you call this, being very transparent. Sometimes you can buy these containers from the different places where you have your canning jars. But let me just be honest with you. This is a Classico spaghetti sauce, steamed and cleaned and dishwashered I don't know how many times. What I love is this is that kind of canning top, okay? And for some reason they stay, the color stays more vibrant, and there's something about doing this in glass and not plastic. So, and then we're saving the environment. So Sister Ash, if you don't mind, for the sake of time, is it okay if we start with, today we are going to have a surprise. I can't tell you what's everything that's in the menu until they begin to share with us, but Fern, if you don't mind, go ahead and unmute yourself. Fern is going to talk to us about how she prepares her kale salad. And let's go ahead and make Fern, let's put Fern in, we're going to pin her video. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, ladies. So happy to be
Good
able to
morning.
join you today. I see some familiar faces too. So hello from Atlanta, Georgia. Let me quickly tell you about my kale salad, and I call it earth candy. It's really a delicious salad, and I love kale. Hopefully you do too. I'm starting to try to grow kale in my garden. I love it so much. And I'm a newbie gardener, so I don't know how it's going to come out. But anyway, it's called spicy kale salad. And what you need is 1 medium bunch or 6 cups of loosely packed and coarsely chopped kale. I always stem and chop mine because I don't like to chew the stems. I know they're nutritious, but I just don't like to put the stems in mine. And I do the same when I cook collard greens. Then you add, well, I'm just going to give the ingredient list first, and I'll tell you real quickly how we stir it up. 1/2 cup of red onion, peeled and diced. 1/4 cup of olive oil. 3/4 teaspoon of sea salt. 1 to 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. I usually use just 1. 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. 1 tablespoon of imitation bacon bits, because I don't eat pork, and 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast. So the first thing you want to do, which is important to make this recipe really yummy, is to put the 1/4 cup of olive oil into the kale in a bowl and massage it thoroughly. Just continually massage it until it becomes slightly wilted. And that's how you'll get the rest of the flavors into the salad. And then you just add the remaining ingredients and toss it together. And don't go light on the nutritional yeast. You might be tempted to do that because it looks like a lot, but the nutritional yeast is key to the taste and flavor of the salad. Now, those are the main ingredients, but I would encourage you, to add things that you like to your kale salad. If you want to add craisins, nuts, what do you call those tomatoes, ladies, that are in the jar and they're already kind of pickled, roasted, the dry roasted tomatoes, anything like that you like in your salad or your kale salad, you can add that, or anything that you need for an additional nutritional impact in your salad, you can add to it. But that's the basic recipe, and I alternate between different things that I like to add to mine. So stir up and enjoy, and I think you're going to absolutely love this earth candy. Thank you. Any questions while we're waiting for Denise? Does anybody have any questions?
No, actually, I don't. That sounded good.
Oh, go ahead, Turia.
No, you can go ahead.
Just a question, friend. Have you ever tried? I know you said the kale, and I have a brand of, I like the dark long leaf kale, but I also use the baby kale. You know, that you see. So have you ever tried that? Does it make a difference? I might try.
I've used a variety of kale. I have not used the baby kale, but I'm sure it would be good, Rosemary.
Okay.
Or a mixture of different types of kale.
Okay.
I do think it comes out better personally when I buy the fresh kale myself.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, rather than the bagged kale.
Okay.
And also with your kale salad, if you want, you can also add Brussels sprouts and carrots to it, which also adds some more roughage to it and has some more nutritional value to it as well.
Absolutely.
To give it
Cheese
even more flavor. As well as maybe some pumpkin seeds or some fennel seed to it, or even
quinoa, that might be good too.
Quinoa, you know, to add all that other fiber to it. Just stay close to the restroom, ladies.
By the way,
help digestive system.
Absolutely, and chew and chew some more.
Right.
And then that does serve 2 people. I thought I'd mention that. I usually double the recipe because I like to have some left over for the next day.
Oh, and that sounds delicious. Now, and that's a good question, because I am known in my family for whatever is delicious and protein wise, especially, including pizza that has gluten-free and no cheese on it. I am famous for eating dinner for breakfast the next day. Does anybody else do that? Yay!
Yes.
Oh, yay. Okay. I already said yes also. Yeah. So thank you, Fern. And now the kale salad is chilled already, correct?
What do you mean chilled already? When you make it, everything is room temp, and you do have a lot of olive oil in it. So once you put it in the refrigerator, it does change the texture some. I like to take it out for a little while and let it sit and come back to room temperature before I eat mine. But sometimes it's so yummy, I can't wait and I'll eat it like it is. But to your point about eating it for breakfast, I love it with a fried egg too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just pause for 2 seconds, because as I'm going to switch over to Sister Upshur, there is a wonderful, phenomenal Turner Memorial recipe book that's been floating around for a while. And one of the things that one of our team members on our health and wellness ministry, Sister Shawnee Reed, has this great idea of doing a recipe exchange. So I'm going to act as though we are literally, act as though we are literally, because this is going to be on YouTube. So give us a couple of days and you can check the links below. We're going to put all these wonderful recipes in our chat or on, excuse me, on the YouTube channel. And then you'll be able to go to Turner Memorial. It's turner-ame.org. And you'll be able to, we'll post these recipes there, because we're going to really start looking at that recipe book and do an exchange with this and sort of revise it and revamp it. So here's another thing that I want to share. So Sister Ash Upshur, is going to also share with us a couple of things. And so last time we had a Turner meeting on Zoom, she was sharing with us that she was going to share her broccoli salad. And I'm telling you, it was so funny to see Sister Upshur laughing because I had one of those aha moments. My mouth was wide open. I was so excited. Her salad is delicious, but she's going to also talk to us about something that I'm going to let her share with you. But let me just say, Sister Ash, let me not get this incorrect. Sister Ash is now currently in school, going back to school to get further her education with her culinary degree. She's not just the team lead of our Turner Memorial culinary staff. She is, I would call her our chef extraordinaire. And so let me just go ahead and turn this over to Sister Ash.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
As she stated, currently I am a Stratford University Advanced Culinary Arts student. I'm almost done, which is a blessing. I decided to go back because I have been cooking at Turner since my mother was in the kitchen. I am a life member of Turner Memorial AME Church, and I have been in the kitchen and active most of my life. So a lot of the things that I learned are actually from her. Um, Anywhere from all aspects of dining and service and customer service. So I have been in the kitchen for a very long time, which is my experience. I like sharing and being creative with the different recipes. What I have been doing at Turner for the past 15 years has been basically working with the Stay Young ministry. And my focus and one of the things I wanted to learn when I went back to school is how to make food flavorful for the elderly. Because what happens is as we get younger, certain things stop working. First goes your nose, then your taste buds. And I like to start out with something to lighten up it, which is one of my mother's favorite jokes, where she's saying that old people are worth a fortune. They have gold in their teeth, silver in their hair. I'm a frugal old lady. Every morning I wake up with several different men. First thing in the morning, I wake up and I go to see John. Then old Arthur shows up and he hangs around and carries me from joint to joint. Then by the end of the day, I'm looking forward to seeing Ben Gay. My girlfriend told me one day, you need to be thinking about the hereafter. I says, girl, I think about the hereafter every day. I go from room to room saying, now what did I come in here after? And then to make it so bad, old taste buds decided to abandon me. There, I wrote a paper on This Means War, how taste buds change due to health, your medicines, and everything else. So I wanted to learn how to make food not only healthy for the elderly, because a lot of malnutrition, um, their blood pressure, all their ailments cause them not to want to eat. So that's one reason why Reverend Barris is so excited, because she comes to the lunch that I fix for Stay Young. I fix them a full meal with different types of things because I am very conscious that other people have food allergies. They don't eat everything. So I try to make a variety of different things. If I make spaghetti, not only do I make the beef spaghetti, I make a vegetable spaghetti as well as a turkey spaghetti sauce. And that way everybody is happy. One thing I caution one of the younger members came to me and says, Ms. Upshur, I'm going to start the keto diet. And I said to her, you need to be careful with the keto diet because you need to understand what health issues you have. Because certain proteins, such as meat, have the nutrients that you need, the iron in it. I always say, taking your body out of what the normal things that you were learned how to do, your proteins, maybe beef, chicken, fish, your starches you have to be careful with, your vegetables, but removing all of that from your diet is sometimes counterproductive. It doesn't really help. It causes other problems. So therefore, you really have to have a balance. The key thing is to do everything in moderation. The problem in America, Americans are so spoiled, and I'm going to say it just like that. We have an abundance of food and we waste more food than anybody in the world. Why? Because we think that when we go to a buffet, we need to pile it up to the high end. It's like you have never eaten before. The key to eating, as my husband would say, is you eat slow and steady. You chew. And don't drink as you're eating. Because if you fill yourself up with liquids, you're not feeding yourself up with the nutrients from the food. You're full, as my mother would say. When I was growing up, we didn't get anything to eat until after we finish our dinner. So my point is, I try to make flavorful food that is healthy, it's delicious, and you can actually taste the different things in it. One thing about your kale salad, you can take a recipe and make it yours. You can create it to be any way that you want. Just because you have the recipe in there, you can add anything you like to it and get creative. Um, so that's one reason I have different versions of my broccoli salad. I have one where everyone loves the bacon in it and raisins or cheese or onions. That's one. My favorite, because I don't like raisins, I like craisins. And I don't eat pork, so I don't add it to there. But my broccoli salad consists of the florine broccoli. You cut it up so that it's in small pieces. You add either a red onion or you can add any yellow onion. Um, can add a little garlic to it. The key part of the broccoli salad is actually the sauce. Everybody says, how do you make it taste so good? Well, you make your own salad dressing or sauce to it, which consists of Miracle Whip, a little bit of sugar, and apple cider vinegar to your taste. And you mix them all up and you add it into the broccoli salad. I add craisins. Sometimes I may add cheese. Of course, I did that one time with Stay Young. And they said, don't you add the cheese anymore and don't add the carrots. I just like it the way you did it before. So kind of not, once you get used to something, no one likes you to deviate. But with broccoli salad or any kind of broccoli, or any kind of salad, you can get very creative and add as many different vegetables and ingredients that you want to it. Um, that's the secret to it as well. So it's mainly using the ingredients to make it taste well so that and how you present it. One thing I learned about foods, my mother is a type of person that is, if it doesn't look right, and you have some people that you know, if it doesn't look right, they're not putting it in their mouth. Presentation is everything. The first thing that will trigger the taste buds is sight and smell long before you taste it. So, and I caution everybody, I season it with sea salt. I don't use iodine salt because it has a tendency where you want to keep adding more and more salt on it to give it flavor. But when you use sea salt or the pink salt, Havana, you only need a pinch because it gives a popping flavor to all the ingredients that you have in it, and you don't have to have a lot of sodium in it. There are some things that are already salty, so you don't have to add an additional salt. So I warn everybody when I fix, you don't need to add any salt. Taste it first. 9 times out of 10, if you taste what the chef made, it's delicious. You don't have to add anything to it. But we are, as a culture, been so prone to adding salt and pepper to everything before we eat it, which is a bad habit. And that's why you have a lot of us with high blood pressure. You have a lot of us with um, diabetes, a lot of things that cause us to have different type of ailments are because of you are what you eat.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So therefore, I try to make it as colorful as possible. That's the other thing. It's sight. If you make it colorful, it's appetizing. You can add different things to it to make it colorful. For
Yes.
instance, in your kale salad, add some tomatoes to it. or even if you want to cut up a sweet potato and add that to it. Sweet potatoes are good for you. I have a list of different vegetables and apple things that you can actually eat that will help different parts of your body, different ailments. Um, Apricots are good for the eyes, believe it or not, as well as the digestive system. You
Yes.
have, mhm. For your nervous system, lettuce is the best thing.
Mhm.
That helps with your nervous system. For your heart, walnuts are gold. Walnut. Um, for your arteries, believe it or not, chickpeas is a very good thing to add to your
Oh, yes.
salad, which helps with your arteries. For your blood, I know I hate beets, but red beets are the best thing for your
They
blood
really
system.
are. And can I
Even
just
though,
add to this sometimes, Sister Upshur? One of the
yes,
things
ma'am.
Mhm.
one of the things that I have always been doing is making a salad using the lettuce, and to that I'll add mushrooms, I'll add beets, and what I would do, and sometimes a little bit of shredded carrots. I would really let the beets juice become my salad dressing. And believe it or not, that really is good. And then sometimes I'll thinly slice little pieces of apple. And
Hmm.
I'm not one to put walnuts in my salad, but I'll have them right there beside
Hmm.
the salad. But beets are just awesome. Beets are really
Um,
awesome. Hmm.
for your respiratory system, figs are excellent for your respiratory system. It helps relieve some inflammation. Um, Digestive system, papaya is great as well. That helps with the digestive system. Liver and gallbladder, Belgium endive, which is it's the lettuce. It's a high protein lettuce that has a lot of nutrients in it to help with your gallbladder and your liver. For your stomach and the upset stomach, and I didn't know this at first, but pineapple is the best thing for upset stomach.
Well, I'll be okay. There it is.
um,
Okay.
Sister Terry,
yes,
Sister
ma'am.
Usher, what was can you spell that lettuce for us, that last one you said?
It's called Belgian Endive. That's Belgian, capital Endive.
Oh, endive. Okay, got it.
Uh-huh. I may spelled it and I may pronounce it incorrectly, but and I can tell you what they say it's great for. I have a book that I want to share with you all that may be something that you all can look into ordering. It's called Foods That Heal.
Oh my goodness.
It's
Okay.
called Foods That Heal, and I'll share
Okay.
that with you. It's written by Dr. George D. Roger,
Thank you. That is
and
okay.
so it's very good. Andrew had it, and I found it one day and looked in it to see what it is. This is what Endive looks like.
Oh, is that the endive lettuce? Okay. Okay.
Endive
Thank
lettuce.
you. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay, these are and there's different types, there are different families. You got your red cabbage or ricotta. You have the one that looks like it's a weed, which is actually good for you. Um, you have the other one here. I'm going to show it up. That these are the different types of lettuce. And this book is it had helped me a lot, especially when I found out my mother had gout.
Oh,
And one of the things that I had to, when I looked in this book, it says one of the things for gout or the uric acid is to try to eat melon, all kinds of melon, honeydew melon,
like
your
watermelon, my favorite.
watermelon. All your melons are good for the uric acid, the urinary tract. It helps with alleviating the uric acid in your body. For your metabolism, believe it or not, when you have a urinary tract infections, cherry juice
Oh,
is excellent. Cranberry juice, those are all help with your metabolism. Your musculoskeletal system, chestnuts are the best thing. For your skin, you know how they tell you to take a cucumber and put it over your eyes? That's because cucumber is the best thing for your skin. Um, For infections, believe it or not, eating tangerines helps with all infections that you may have. It'll help alleviate some of the infections. These are just some of the things that um, are in this particular book that actually give you detailed information about what it does, the vitamins in it, um, all the percentages that are when it talks about the fiber, the minerals, the calories. If you're trying to lose weight, it has all different kinds of things. Olive oil is really good. However, they say that with olive oil, you have to determine what's the best olive oil for you. Make sure it's in a clear bottle and not a very dark bottle, because there are different textures of olive oil. Grapeseed oil is actually great. It's a different flavor. Um, I'm actually going to share with you one of my other favorite dishes that I made for Turner, which is a chicken with vinaigrette sauce. It's a different way to fry your chicken. It really is delicious. It's very flavorful and it's real simple to make. Um, you take a 1 ounce of butter, a tablespoon of olive oil, 4 cloves of large garlic and peeled, um, chicken cut into pieces. Leave the bone in. You can use thighs, you can use wings, you can use pretty much any type of bone in chicken. A little salt and pepper, rice wine vinegar, 4 ounces of rice wine vinegar, four romaine tomatoes peeled and seeded and diced in half, and chopped a teaspoon of chopped parsley. And basically what you're doing at first is you're going to put the chicken in the butter and olive oil in a large saute pan and start to heat it up and add the garlic to it. And you let that simmer until it's nice and brown and crispy. You season the chicken and add it to the saute pan. Cover it on high heat until the chicken is browned well. Add the vinegar and tomatoes to bring to a simmer. You're finishing this particular dish though in the oven. You're going to leave it in the oven until the chicken reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason you have to watch how you cook chicken, especially because chicken is the most dangerous piece of meat we eat. It has a lot of bacteria. And what I learned, bacteria grows every 20 seconds, 20 minutes rather. Every 20 minutes, bacteria grows. So you have to be careful when you're using chicken and how you prep it. You got to make sure that you clean it. If you're using it, it's running under cold water constantly and keep it freezing. Keep it at a certain temperature. Because if you don't, again, bacteria grows every 20 minutes. And that's why you have a lot of foodborne illnesses from chicken because of how it's being handled. The other one we need to be careful with is salmon. A lot of people like to get their fresh salmon. What you don't want to do is bring your fresh salmon out and leave it on the counter for 15 minutes. Because when you come back, all the impurities and the worms that were in there are going to come out of your salmon. And you're not going to want to eat it. So you have to be careful with your fish and your fowl. Um, Once you have put your chicken in the oven, you remove it and then you use the juice and bring the juice to a simmer. And this is where you add the butter to kind of make it nice and smooth and add the chopped parsley and then pour it over your chicken and serve it. It is delicious. It is got a lot of good nutrients in it. It's just something you can serve other than your normal turkey. Now, speaking of turkey, last year I decided to do something that I learned in culinary school. It's called butterflying. You know how you chop up and butterfly a chicken? You can do the same thing with a turkey. You can actually cut your turkey in half, butterfly it and lay it down, put all your seasonings and on top underneath it and on top of it and bake it. It comes out juicy, crisp, and the breast is not dry. It's just a way, and it's already cut up where you don't have to worry about slicing it. It falls off the bone. It was so delicious. My mother loved it. She had no idea I did not cook the whole turkey the conventional way. It's just a suggestion. Any questions? Suggestions? Yes.
Sister Upshur, tell us about seasoning that butterfly turkey.
Okay. Your turkey, you can actually add pretty much any kind of seasoning to it. Most people like to add sage and your poultry seasoning. You can add parsley. You can add a little salt and pepper. You can add you can actually, if you don't want to use butter, you can use the olive oil and cook it that way. You can pretty much give it any kind of flavor. I like the chicken seasoning where it has a little, the Lowry's chicken seasoning. I put over it as a bottom. It has everything in it. It has cayenne pepper. It depends on your taste. You can change the taste of anything. It's just how creative and what you like. Um, Adobe seasoning is good for it as well. It gives it a nice pop of flavor. So you can kind of play with your seasonings. You can add sage or dill. Cumin is excellent in
Yes,
your
it is.
soups. In your soups, believe it or not, nutmeg is gold. It gives it such a rich flavor in your sauces and your soups. So nutmeg is very good as well. And as I said, it depends on your taste. Different cultures make things different ways. It all depends on what you want.
Well,
Experiment.
what do you rub it down with the butter or the olive oil and then
You
season
can
it?
actually, what I usually do is I melt all of my seasonings in the butter and pour it over.
Oh, okay.
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 That way, that's one way that I do it. And you can add a little bit more. Butter never hurts. The more butter, the better the flavor.
Okay.
But you can actually do it that way, and all your seasonings they're now mixed into the sauce because you're actually making a sauce, and you can actually pour it over. Or you can put your seasonings in your onions and whatever you want to use, shallots. You want to lay them out on the bottom of the pan and put your turkey on top of it, which also helps give up the flavor from the bottom up, and put it on top and the bottom. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do the same to the top.
Okay.
I usually also, I don't put anything in on my meats on the pan. I usually line everything with aluminum foil. That way it's easy cleaning. That's a little hint and secret. And
That, yeah.
it's also easy to put things away afterwards because all you have to do is wrap it up in the aluminum foil that you already have it in.
And then what temperature in the oven?
You follow the directions on the turkey.
Okay.
Okay, whatever it is, it's usually 355, 350, I believe, or depending on how large your turkey is. That's why turkey is very tricky. You have to read the instructions to see, depending on how many pounds, when you fix a whole turkey, they tell you, you cook it according to how many pounds. I think it's every 30 minutes per pound or something like that, or how long you add it. But when you butterfly, it's a little bit different because everything is laid out flat. And therefore, it doesn't take as long to cook the turkey.
Right.
Gotcha.
It shortens the process.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to ask a question, and I would hope that you all use the reaction button with a show of hands or just thumbs up. How many of us are going to try this? Maybe not before Thanksgiving, but during the month of November and December. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Thank you. That was awesome. Let me just ask if there's anyone else. Oh, yes, I see a thumbs up. There's Sister Jackson. Yes, indeed. Let me put my thumbs up.
I had to find it. Okay.
So Sister Ash Upshur, now going back to the broccoli, can you finally cut up the broccoli? I know sometimes people always, have concerns about the broccoli getting in their teeth and flossing and all of that. It's okay if you just chop it up a little bit more.
What I do is basically I cut off the stems. The stems are just too
Course.
porous.
Yeah.
And when I cut off the stems, I actually cut it in half or cut it in quarters
But
to make it smaller pieces.
I have a suggestion also.
Oh, this is great.
If you're using fresh cauliflower, fresh
Broccoli.
you can, if it's kind of thick, you can, like you're peeling a potato, pull off that first hard skin. That way you can cook. You don't have to worry about the broccoli having to cook as long or being hard or against your teeth or anything like that.
Right, and see, this is a cold salad, so therefore,
Oh, make it a salad.
it's a broccoli salad. It's a cold salad. It's not something
Okay.
that you.
Mhm.
But you're right. That's one way to make sure that you
That you don't have to throw away much.
right, just like what you do with asparagus.
Yes.
You want to trim off some of the skin of asparagus because it's real hard and at the end as well as the ends. And some parts of it is just not edible, and it's hard to digest if you do it that way. But with the broccoli salad, if you make it in small pieces, you don't want to make it in too many small pieces because broccoli has a tendency to disintegrate. If you cut it too much, as you know, then you have all these little broccoli pellets all over the place, and it makes the salad mushy. And you don't want a mushy salad, you just want it nice and flavorful. After you've made the broccoli salad too, you want to chill it so that all the flavors and everything will come in. Now with my salad, what I try to do when I'm prepping it at church, you have to make things in order. You always make your salads first and put them in the refrigerator. Okay, that way it's chilling. Then you work with the long thing is going to take the longest to cook. Usually the thing that's going to take the longest to cook is your meat. Then your potatoes, your starches. And then you work with the vegetables because vegetables do not take that long to cook. So you really, when you're looking at everything and you're looking at your menu and you want to time your dinner so that everything's ready on time, prep time is included. You have to think about how long it takes to chop up your vegetables for whatever you're making to go into your, the onion, the garlic, the vegetables you want to add to it. If you're making mashed potatoes, you want to cut up your potatoes first because that's all part of the time it takes to cook something. So you want to take the hardest part of it and do that first and then add everything to it. And once you prepped everything and kind of I like putting things in different little bowls so that when I start putting it all together, everything is right there. The other thing is that cooking, and I know a lot of people have a hard time doing this, but clean as you cook.
Oh gosh, yes, yes,
The
yes.
worst thing you can do is to have everything all over the place. And you have to worry about cross-contamination when you do that. You have to be careful. Make sure you don't use the same knife that you use to cut meat that you cut your vegetables with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Clean everything and sanitize it immediately. Hot water, hot soap, dry, and always air dry your dishes and not wipe them down with a towel because again, that's cross-contamination. What did I say from the beginning? Bacteria grows every what? 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
So you have to be careful. And within that 20 minutes and the different things that you're prepping, you have to be very conscious of how long it's taking you to do something. And once you cut up something, or like with your vegetables, if you cut them up, put them in the refrigerator. Make sure you keep them cool. If you cut up your meat, put it in the refrigerator. Keep it cool until you're ready. Okay, so that's basically the things you have to remember in the kitchen. Safety and food safety is very, very important.
I gotta get
And
out. I'll try it again.
I'm a very stickler. When you come into my kitchen, they say I've tried to be as nice as I can, but not everybody is great in the kitchen. They have bad habits they bring to them, washing your hands. Every time you change something, wash your hands. If you touch something, wash your hands. Or you can use gloves. You can use disposable gloves, but don't use the same gloves when you touch your vegetables to touch your meat or your fish. You want to make sure you change them constantly. And then after you do that, continue to wash your hands. As you know, Right now, we're in a pandemic. Why? Because we refuse to wash our hands.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Our hands and our hair are the dirtiest parts of our body. I used to tell, I used to be able to get little kids to stop sucking their thumb. My father was a microbiologist, and he used to take us to the lab and show us, put our hand underneath the microscope and says, "You see all these little squiggly things? That's what you're putting in your mouth."
Wow.
So we learned not to put our hands up to our mouth because bacteria is everywhere. Everything you touch is dirty. So you have to really watch what you do. So this pandemic has taught us nothing. That's why they're stressing. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Be clean.
Am I?
And wear your mask. The reason for the mask is because when you speak, your saliva comes out. When you breathe it in, you breathe it out. So you cover your mouth to make sure because viruses are very contagious and they can be spread just from talking to someone. You know, when you get into a room with someone with a cold, if you little kids share your cold. You know, when your children were little, they come home and share their cold with you. Why? Because they're in your face, coughing on you, touching your face, touching your hands. It's the same principle. And that's why I don't understand. Common sense tells you, if they tell you to wear masks, there's a reason.
There's a reason.
Has nothing to do with our liberty rights. It has everything to do with being safe and making sure that it's not necessary for you, but for someone else.
You know, I really want to, first of all, thank you so much. I'm so excited that you were able to be here with us, Sister Upshur. Okay, she was Taria Ash for a long, long time, but she was married to her husband, Andrew Upshur, longer.
Yeah.
I should know better. But I really sincerely want to thank you, and especially with what you just said. And I honestly believe it was just before it was announced by the CDC and Dr. Fauci. I think I got on a group text with Fern, and I think it was Judy, and we have, she had to leave. We had to, we have this little village of friends and family. You know how we all are. And I said, hey guys, I think we should all just have our Zoom family gatherings, and to those gatherings, invite as many of your friends and family that you normally would ask to come over and have a slice of pie or whatever after their dinner or whatever, and just go on Zoom and let's be smart, let's be safe about this. So Sister Upshur, I really thank you for sharing that part of your presentation. But I honestly, I asked Sister Upshur what her favorite color is. Okay, health and wellness ministry. We got to find this wonderful gift. What do you give to someone who has everything to say thank you? How do we say thank you? Your friendship is so invaluable over the years, but what you added today, I can tell you right now, so many of us are going to benefit from this. And so first I want to open it up. We have just a few more minutes before we close. Is there anyone who would like to share one of their, to this wonderful meal that has already been prepared for us with the kale salad, the broccoli salad, and the wonderful way of preparing this turkey? Does anyone else want to share? I know I'd like to, I don't know if Sister Jeanette was able to join us today, but we're going to drop into our notes when we see this up on YouTube. Sister Jeanette Mobley has a phenomenal, also Sister Upshur, oven fried chicken and oven fried fish. OMG. She brought some over to the house before we went into this COVID, and I tell you, it was awesome. So does anyone else have anything they would like to share before we take ourselves into closing?
I do.
Okay. Okay.
Real quickly.
Oh, you're still here. Thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, Sister Upshur, as to how wonderful your presentation was. Denise, I think one of the reasons she put me on first is she's thinking I have to go and get my husband up. He's bedridden. But anyway, this was so awesome. I couldn't leave. I hope she will come back again. I've already ordered the book on Amazon. And yeah, and this was just outstanding. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you say you're growing veggies. There's
Mhm.
another book by Birds and Blooms,
Mm.
How to Grow Your Veggies.
Oh,
Ooh,
thank you.
yes.
The
Okay.
author again?
Um, it's called Grow Veggies, and it's something that was brought out. It actually has Growing Green with Michelle Obama, this particular edition, and it's Birds and Blooms is the name of the company. It's another one of these books we just happened to pick up, and it has 427 easy ideas for a backyard garden,
Outstanding.
Oh my
small
Gotta
goodness.
space
have it.
budget. So,
Gotta have it. Thank you.
Yes.
okay.
Thank you.
There are so many books out there in so many ways. I am actually, once I get my deck redone, I'm actually going to grow my vegetables and my seasonings and my herbs on my back porch,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and try to use those fresh herbs and vegetables, because the fresher it is, and that one of the things that is happening now that we all need to learn because of the fact that things are changing in the culinary industry. Um, as you know, this particular virus has affected hospitality and culinary restaurants more than any other industry out there. It has affected the farmers, the restaurants, and the food suppliers. Everyone is affected because of the simple fact that we are now are unable to gather. And one of the things that Reverend Burris is very important. You can have gatherings without being close to each other. One of the things my family's going to do, because I'm not going to have everybody's not going to come to my mom's house. I'm setting up a Zoom call where we're all going to be at our different places with different families and come together and say prayer together and eat and greet at that particular point for Christmas as well as Thanksgiving. That way my mother can safely be participate and we can all still see each other and communicate. And after we say our prayer and say whatever we want to say to each other, we're all going to get down and eat whatever meals we are from wherever we are. This is a temporary thing, but we have to get creative now in how we socialize with each other
Yes.
until things change. And the only way it's going to change is if we do it ourselves.
Amen.
Um,
Amen.
and pray for those who refuse.
Yes. So, Sister Upshaw, thank you. Fern, thank you.
Quick, real
Everyone,
quick.
thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Michelle.
Maria, what was,
Hi.
Hi, Michelle.
hello. What was the name of the first book again? Because I do want to get that.
Okay, the first book, let me spell this gentleman's name because I didn't give you his full name, which is Dr. George D. Um, Papillona Roger. And the name of the book is Foods That Heals. Before there were drugs, there was nature.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm putting that in the chat right now. Foods that
Okay,
heal. And
good.
we're going to drop all these others. We'll keep recording and we'll drop all of these. But I want to say this. I want to be mindful of our time. It's amazing how an hour will go before we know it. It is now 10:57. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone. And I think I also noticed that Brother White was on the phone. Brother Kenny White was on the phone. Sister Monica Williams. I want to just say thank you to Dr. Gatson for helping us.
Sister Stanley.
And Sister Stanley, yeah, Velmina Stanley. And I
Mhm.
think is this a friend of yours, Sister Upshur? Her name is, oh, where did she go? Sister Linda, I think she had to leave. And of course, Sister Jackson, Rosemary Jackson. I wanted to say thank you to everyone. Um, Fern, I don't know what time we scheduled our Zoom Thanksgiving family gathering, but Sister Ash Upshur, we're going to be doing the same thing, not only for Thanksgiving, but it's also going to be Christmas and probably New Year's Eve. And let me just say this at 10:58. In 1918, between 1918 and 1920, this country had the Spanish flu. Let's be mindful and let's remember to pick up the phone and call those of family members and friends who who are not as tech savvy or not on Zoom as often and not feeling comfortable with Facebook Live and those kinds of things, it says be mindful to just pick up the phone and call people. But I just want to say thank you all. You all being here makes this possible.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you, Brother White. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
That
It's
is
very
awesome.
educational. And
Yes, it was. What's
very
awesome?
educational.
And so we're gonna continue on this line, even though we're gonna be stopping and being mindful of our time together. We'll put all of these in the notes in the chat and give Sister Chandel a couple of at least 24, 48 hours. At least look for this by Monday because, oh, and thank you all for joining us tomorrow at 10 a.m. for our Turner Memorial worship on Zoom and Facebook Live. I love you all with the love of Jesus, as our Pastor Kearney says, and he wanted so much to be here with you. Let me just say on his behalf, you all know that we are so involved in so many things. And Dr. Kearney right now is leading the Board of Examiners. So let's lift all of them in prayer, lift Dr. Kearney in prayer. And we will see you at the next Turner Memorial Food Network.
And I will be back. I will come back again and share some other information.
Thank you so much, Sister Maria. We appreciate that. Thank
No
you.
problem.
So happy Thanksgiving,
I'll
everyone.
send
Be
you the
safe.
recipe. I promise you, I will email you the recipe for the broccoli salad and the chicken with vinegar sauce, so that you can have that as well. And I might even throw in the ambrosia so that you all can make something.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay. There's that expression again, right? Everyone, thank you. We love you so much.
Thank you. It was nice speaking with you all.
Thank you, Sister Ash Upshur. Love you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
It was
Really
great.
good. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.